Good morning, everyone. I believe that everyone is joining now. Together with me is Paula. Hello,
Good
Paula.
morning, everyone. Good morning. Nice to see you all. Welcome on the webinar.
So today we are going to we will do our best to cover the questions that we received during the first webinar that was on. Oh, I'm really bad recently with the dates. I believe some in September, and yes. But before we start to go to the questions, let me just say a few words about where we are and what are we going to do. So as always, we are meeting on Zoom. You have a few boxes here. Please, if you have additional questions, write them in Q&A section. We will be taking the questions from their section. If there are any technical problems, like for example, you will not hear us, then please write comments in the chat. We will be also looking there. In terms of the recording and the materials, we will share everything via email. I believe you will get the email after a few days after the webinar, as we need some time to make sure that the recording is published on our YouTube channel. So please be a little bit patient. However, for sure you will receive from us the answer. And now, before we go to the questions, I just want to make a few remarks compared to our last meeting. So, first of all, when we had the discussion, I was saying that we have this Copilot functionality that you can now look for the documents from 2003 instead of 2013. Right now, it's no longer a Copilot, it's a functionality. So we checked all the options and we decided that having coverage from 2003 will be more beneficial for users. So this functionality is already checked. You can, all the references that you will see in the summaries are going to be from 2003. The other thing is the questions. So I told you that we are looking for a possibility to ask questions in your own language. And this functionality is also now available. So in case you would like to ask the question, you can type in your own language. So in your case, I believe it's going to be Estonian. I'm going to type a question in Polish, as I'm really sorry, I don't speak Estonian and I don't want to make any mistake in the question. So my question will be like this.
I also speak Polish, and this is in Polish, so you can believe Kate.
Yes, and the question is, what is the influence of antibiotic resistance on the society? So once I put the question in Polish, you can see that I can click search. The query is now turned into the vector. We have this vector search. We are looking for the right documents, and then we are creating the summary. So here is the answer. The answer looks exactly the same like if you ask the question in English. So there is no change in terms of the answer. The answer is still in English. However, the question can be in any language you wish for. The only change in terms of what you are going to get is also that the go deeper. So the additional questions that you may want to ask and that are suggested by the artificial intelligence, they are also showing up in Polish. So these are two things that changed comparing to our last meeting. So please try it, use it. I hope that you will enjoy this this functionality.
And one more information, in case you would like to use any other language, we are covering 80 languages right now within this query. So every single language that OpenAI is covering right now is also on Scopus AI.
Yes. So now we are going to the question. Let me just, I have some issues with showing up the Q&A, but I think it's working. Okay.
Yeah, it's working.
First question.
Oh, yes, Kasia, so this is a big one because it's about technologies. So could you please explain what kind of technologies are used in Scopus AI and why Elsevier decided these ones are, the best one for Scopus AI?
Yes, so thank you for this question, because I believe that's the basic one, the one that we should start with to answer. The technologies are, I would say, three. So first one is the vector search, which means that we are changing your query into the vector. And based on this vector, we are doing the search through all publications that are indexed in Scopus. That means that we are looking for the relevant articles that are going to answer your question. With this vector search, we are making sure that you are going to have, first of all, the most relevant publications, second of all, the most recent ones, and third one, we are looking at the citations. So the citations are the least influential on the result of what kind of publications you will see in the summary. So that's the first thing we do. So we do this vector search. The second thing is, of course, generating the results. So based on vector search, and I said these three factors, we are finding the relevant articles. So we have a list, which is more or less list of 10 to 15 publications. We are trying to still make it very short. We try not to make too long list of publications that are going to be used. And then we are using the LLM, so a large language model, which is going to generate for you the summary based on these chosen publications. The LLM we are using is an open
OpenAI.
Yes, OAI. I always have a problem with the shortcut. So OAI LLM that is widely used. The difference is that we are using it for creating the summaries. However, we are not allowing this model to learn based on the publications and articles that are indexed in Scopus. So this LLM is creating for you the whole summary. And this way we are having the outcome, which is the expanded and short summary. Why this methodology? Why this technologies? Because these are the ones that are checked and they are working very well currently in many solutions. So we decided it's better to use something that is it is already checked by many users. And I believe that we are still, I know it's not I believe, I know that we are still checking other possibilities. But so far, these two are working very well and the feedback from the users is positive. So we think that this is going to work for a longer time. Yes, from my end, I think that's it.
Okay, one comment before we will go to the next question, because some questions are coming through the Q&A feature. Please let us first go through the questions we already prepared, because some of them are already covered in our presentation, and then later on we will go back to Q&A to make sure that everything was addressed. Okay, so please keep them coming, but we will once again go to the questions at the end of the session. Okay, so the next one is, how was the AI model developed? So Scopus is a bibliographic abstract database with a limited record set. So we don't have full text here. So did you feed any LLM model to your data, or did you create a completely new model limited only to Scopus data? Which LLM model does Scopus AI use?
Yes, so we answered already which the LLM model does Scopus AI use. What is important is that we didn't fit this model to our products. We used what is available. And here I'm going from so the reason why we are using this LLM model, because we have also the vector search. So I think that this is what is important to explain in this question, that it's actually the vector search that is responsible for looking for the relevant publications. And this is coming from our database. So the vector search is making sure that based on the abstracts that are available in Scopus, we can find the relevant articles. And this is how the solution works on its own. And I believe that's the full answer for this question. Yes.
Okay.
So let's go to the other one.
Oh, this is the long one, but I think it's also one of the important questions. So, as we know, most editors of prestigious journals require a signed declaration that author did not use artificial intelligence tools, such as ChatGPT. I think something similar is on the Q&A, so please be patient right now because we are answering your question. So is it formally and legally permissible to use or be inspired by the results of a session with Scopus AI when constructing texts submitted to journal, for example, to the publishing house Elsevier. In short, can I legally use this tool and demonstrate this use in the declarations when submitting a text to a journal and or in the notes in the article text? How can the information generated by Scopus AI be used in scientific work, in articles, etc., to avoid misunderstandings related to plagiarism or any other accusations?
Okay, so I think this is a question that we both have few comments to say.
Probably yes.
My proposal is actually, Paula, you will first explain how the artificial intelligence can be used in writing articles, and then I will cover the Scopus AI part. Because I know that you are an expert in terms of publications and journals, so I think that's a good idea that you start.
Okay, so thank you, Kate, and I will bring a few comments to you right now. So first of all, please remember that each journal can have specific recommendation for you as an author, what to do with GenAI. So the rules can vary between different journals. At Elsevier, for example, I'm sorry, we have generative AI policy for authors, and I will put in a moment the link on the chat so you can fully read this document and understand what is behind, let's say, our idea. So the use of generative AI and AI-assisted technologies in writing for Elsevier, there is no like short answer because it depends how are you using this AI and what purpose for. So for example, it cannot be used for writing. So you cannot just copy paste a text that was generated by any AI tool, okay? It cannot be listed as a co-author. It happens sometimes, but this is not a human, so it cannot take responsibility for the article. So you are the author. This is your responsibility, and you are giving the declarations of your authorship. Okay, so this is another very important part. And there are some other rules if it comes to AI generated images, tables, or analysis where you are using AI tools to deliver something, to gain data, to analyze something. So we have a few things here, and I encourage you very much to be aware of this kind of policies, and every single time just double check how to do it. But copy pasting from Scopus AI or other Gen AI tools, it's basically forbidden. So please avoid that. And now I'm putting the link on the chat, and I think, Kate, we are waiting for your comments about Scopus AI here.
Yes, so I can actually echo what Paulina said. The Scopus AI can be used, of course, as an inspiration. So whatever you read, whatever you find in a concept map, what kind of foundational papers you will use, you can absolutely use it as an inspiration, and you can mention in this declaration that it was used, but you cannot definitely copy paste the summaries, as the problem is that the summaries, first of all, are generated by artificial intelligence, and it's in most cases in the journals it will be forbidden. The second thing is that there is a risk that the LLM model, once it was writing the summary based on the abstracts that were first chosen by the vector search, is going to actually exactly cite the sentence from the abstract, which means that Scopus AI additionally is giving you the risk that if you copy paste the summary, you will actually make a plagiarism because it will be the exact citation from the article, from the abstract of the article. So yes, the simple answer is, of course, use it as an inspiration, but please don't copy exactly the information that you are getting. This is a discovery tool, not the tool that is writing for you the article. That's what I would put in a short way.
Yeah, I think
And
the last sentence, Kate, you told us is the most important. So please remember what is the goal of using Scopus AI. Okay, it's not writing tool. It's very simple. It's not writing tool. It's discovery tool. So don't copy paste and be aware of what you are doing, and that all the responsibility is always on the author.
And with that one, I believe we are going to the next question, which is...
Okay. So why it finds so little references? I think you already started discussing that topic, but there is a continuation of the question. I tried a few questions, but it always gives less than 10 references and many outdated references. How do you decide which references to show in the summary?
So yes, there was a slight answer on before, but I really believe that it's worth to even repeat it just to make sure that everyone understands. There are three factors that we are taking into consideration while choosing the references. The first one is the relevance, the second one is the recency, and the third one is citations. And I would say, with how am I saying it, this is also the priority. So the first priority is relevance. And the relevance is chosen by the vector search. So why is it 10 references? Because we want this summaries to be compact. So the whole idea of creating the Scopus AI is to try to help researchers with the information overload. We are looking for the solution that will help you to get this quick overview of the new research area, because we got a lot of comments from users that this is very often the reason why they are not doing the multidisciplinary collaboration. This is very often the reason why they are working only in their own field. They are not checking other directions. So that's the reason also we are keeping only 10 references. There are these functionalities that are helping for you to go deeper, which is additional questions, which is a concept map, which is foundational paper. So these functionalities are going to help you to find more references, but we will still try to keep the summaries short and make sure that the references are not too long. In terms of outdated references, as I said, second factor is recency. Also, the time range is limited for only 20 years. So far, well, I didn't really make any search that is with outdated references, that they are too old. But we are open. If you have this problem, if you are still getting the outdated references, you can either give the feedback over the Scopus website, or you can send it directly to us. I'm happy to take a look at this problem, and we will see what's the reason for this.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
Kate.
Paula, are there any new questions in the chat, or are we going in a Q&A, or are we going further?
Let's go further, because I think we will have this question in our slide deck.
Okay. Oh, I clicked and I have again the same question. Okay, here we go.
We can still see the references question.
Really?
Yes.
I see the question after asking questions, so that's fun. Is it changing now?
No. I think
So
it's somehow blocked.
yes, so this is my screen that decided not to change anything on sharing. Let me share again, maybe that will help. Now?
Yes. Okay, so after asking a question about some definitions, I'm receiving answer. Here is limited direct information on there, or there is no available information. These are questions about basic definitions known for years. How is it possible?
Okay, let me just, because I see my computer is really trying to to change something. I will just close the app. Hopefully that will help. Okay. So the reason why we are receiving this information is in the mechanism how the Scopus AI works. First of all, the the source of information for Scopus AI is actually the abstracts of articles that are indexed in Scopus. So there is this way a little bit limited number of information we can get. As you can imagine, in abstracts, it's very rare that we are going to really write the definition of I don't know, let's say of the power, because definition of power is known of power in terms of electricity, for example, is known for a very long time. So it's not going to be most probably somewhere in the abstracts. I would say that the most important here in this question is first to ask yourself, what kind of search are you normally performing in Scopus? Because I strongly believe that for the use case for Scopus is not that you are looking there for definitions, it's more that you are doing the bibliographic bibliographic search. So it means that you are trying to get the idea about bigger subject. You want to get information, how is it influencing on something? What are the factors that are working in this subject? How the subject is developing over the last 10 years? It's not really, Scopus I believe, is not the first source of information for definitions. And there is a reason for this, because it's a database that is indexing articles. This is abstract and citation database. So mostly we are trying to understand the field. So this is one thing which I would say, that Scopus AI is in general not the best tool to look for or Scopus as a whole is not a tool to look for the definitions. I think for the definitions, for some certain things, we are looking in textbooks, I believe. That would be my first choice, some encyclopedia, some reference works. This is the source that is really going to give you the full definition with all the necessary information. And this is also where I believe this information is going to be available. And the good news is that we are also thinking about this use case, and that's why we will be introducing also Science Direct AI. And this is the solution that will help you to go through full text and will help you with looking for the definitions. While in Scopus, as I said, we want to grasp an overview on a new research area. So that's why we are looking in the abstracts. We are looking in the abstracts from the last 20 years, which makes it then even more difficult to find definitions, especially definitions that are known for years, because they are in an older content. And this is why you are getting this information, because we made sure that Scopus AI, if it doesn't have the answer in the abstracts of publications indexed in Scopus, it's going to clearly let you know as a user that either the information is limited or there is actually no available information, which means in the last 20 years in the abstracts, the artificial intelligence cannot find any answer to your question. And I hope that this helps a little bit to get the idea for both on the solution and also on the why we are putting this comments in our answers on Scopus AI.
Yeah, I would add one thing. So if you are thinking about what is the content of the abstract, people are not putting definitions into the abstract. Okay, so this is like just having in the mind what Scopus AI is actually doing with the data is retrieving information out from abstracts. So this is what you can expect. And most of you probably are authors. So think in the way, okay, what would I put in the abstract about my article and what kind of information I can find in abstracts of other authors. And this is something that Scopus AI will help you retrieve information from.
That's exactly. And the next question.
Yeah, the next questions. How are foundational papers selected and ranked? Are they higher ranked as true source papers providing the foundations of the field or review papers?
Okay, so the foundational papers, this is, I believe that the name can be a little bit misleading. So let me explain what is the idea behind this functionality. As I said, for the summary, we are using, first of all, the most relevant articles. Our thought was that as we decided that the most relevant are not the ones that are the highest in terms of citations, we are going to also receive the questions, okay, and what is the most cited article in the question I asked? And these are the foundational papers. So we keep the summary based on the most relevant articles, but we also show up the ones that are the ones that are highly cited in this subject that you ask a question about. And we kept them separately. So we are making sure that they are matched with the question you asked, but here in foundational papers, you are going to only find the ones that are really, really highly cited. They are getting a lot of citations. So as you can imagine, in this field, we will actually find mostly well, maybe not mostly, but there will be review papers in this packet, in this functionality of foundational papers, because review papers are getting very often a lot of citations. But we wanted to make sure that in the summary will be not biased by the, for example, review papers. So it's not going to be constructed only on review papers. That's why we so much focused in summary on the relevancy. And we have this additional foundational papers field, which is helping to just find the highly cited publications in the question you asked. And I believe that this is a full answer for this question. Yes. Okay, so we go to the next one, which is,
Okay, so from which parts of articles Scopus AI collects information? Title, abstract, keywords, all the full text of the article.
Well, I mean, this is a very important question, but we also answered over the last few minutes this question a few times, but still worth to explain that the source of information is abstract. So we are looking through all the abstracts of articles indexed in Scopus. I remember there was also at some point a question, because it happens sometimes that some books that are indexed in Scopus, they don't have abstracts. That's true. And then, well, unfortunately, we are not using this content for creating any summary by Scopus AI. So that's the disadvantage. But we wanted to make sure we are focusing on one certain thing, and that helped also us to create high quality responses. So I believe that abstracts are enough for the Scopus AI and for getting the idea about the directions and new research fields. And well, why not full text? Of course, full text would be amazing, would be great, but we don't have access to the full text of all publications that are indexed in Scopus. The reason for this is, well, quite simple, because Scopus is a abstract and citation database. As I mentioned, we of course are aware of the value that full text of articles is bringing to the table. That's why we are now working on on other solutions like Science Direct AI, which are going to use actually the full text of the articles. I hope that this one was, I mean, this is also quite clear, I hope, why we're doing this. So we go to the next question, which is,
okay, so the next question is a very general one, but I like it because I think this is something we all have in our minds. So how does Scopus AI differ from ChatGPT? How is Scopus AI better, or how does it differ from existing solutions like Elsevier or Paper Digest or anything else that is available for researchers right now?
yes, I think that this is important question, and I also really recommend, if some of you didn't try it, to actually try to ask similar question like you do in Scopus AI to ChatGPT. And then once you ask this question and you receive the answer, try to ask ChatGPT what is the source of information. Because I think this is the biggest difference. Sometimes ChatGPT will give you some information, what is the source. Sometimes there will be no source, or it will give you a very blurry answer. Or what's worse, it will give you such an answer that you still cannot find the source. So a lot of options, and that is the difference with Scopus AI, that we link all our answers with the references. We clearly give you also the link to the reference, so you can check the article, see from what kind of journal the article is coming. And well, that is a huge help in terms of if we want to really do the research, we need to have the source of information. We cannot just rely on blurry information that has no source. One more thing that I would add to why Scopus AI is better is also that the sources that we are giving you as a background for the summary are checked, which means we've been doing for over 20 years the process of evaluation of all the sources that are indexed in Scopus. We are checking the based on criteria, what is the quality of the sources. We are making sure that if any of these journals is, for example, getting predatory, we try to spot it and we make sure it's discontinued. So many things that ChatGPT or Elicit or any other solution is not going to do, because they are just working on the open source data, so the source that is available in the market, like for example, let's say Google Scholar, is already done in terms of Scopus AI. Because we did this, we did all the evaluation of journals. We are checking these journals regularly to make sure that we can spot the ones that are turning into predatory journals. We are also making sure that if it's any website that is pretending to be the journal that is indexed in Scopus, we are also spotting this and making sure that no one is going to index in Scopus the data from the website that is pretending another journal. So these are the things that are well, helping us with navigating over this research and information, and this is why I believe it's a much more trusted solution is Scopus AI than the open source solutions that are available in the market.
If I may add something, Kate, I would say that we need to remember that Scopus AI is built upon Scopus, and Scopus were created for researchers, and Scopus AI as well for researchers and with researchers, because we are also collecting feedback from the community. If any one of you have any kind of feedback for us, you can also share this. And we had a question about hallucinations on the Q&A, so I think it's also a little bit connected with that. You already told a little bit about that, but the easiest way, what you can do is, like Kate said, just ask ChatGPT the same question and Scopus AI the same question. I would encourage you to ask question like, when the first monkey landed on the moon, and then you will clearly see the difference between other solutions and Scopus AI. It is also something that we mentioned before on another question, why sometimes Scopus is telling you there is a limited information or there is no data about it. Because Scopus AI and our technology is prepared to avoid hallucinations and avoid biases, okay? So this is, I think, very strong how Scopus AI is better, especially if we are thinking about creating research projects, papers, and go on.
Yes, thanks, Paula, because that's a very valuable comment and additional information for our participants of today's webinar. I see there is one question about a possibility to
integrate
Scopus AI. One is integrate, the other one is export. So let's start with the export, because I still have the Scopus AI open, so I can quickly show where is it. So the answer is simple, that once you have these references here, you can click on show all 9 references. And here on the bottom, we have the export all references button. And one of the formats that you can actually export the references is RIS, so which was actually the question about. So yes, it's possible to definitely export all the references. In terms of using it for the systematic bibliographic review, that I see as a more complicated question, because systematic bibliographic review, it's a research methodology that is described in a very detailed way. And this detailed way is well, definitely focused on a standard way of doing it, so on the search queries. So that's why I don't know how we could, in this methodology, implement Scopus AI. It can definitely be a support for the systematic bibliographic review. I even talked with actually few researchers already that told me that thanks to Scopus AI, they actually figured out that the search queries were limited and they were not showing some articles that were very important in their field. So it's very useful to try the questions in your field or related to the search queries that you already created in Scopus AI. However, as I said, it's not going to be realistically part of the systematic bibliographic review, as long as someone is not going to write a new article how we could actually include the artificial intelligence in systematic bibliographic review. I think it might be a really nice new research field for someone, how we could use the new functionalities, because I believe research is about progress. So even with all the new tools and solutions, I expect at least some changes in terms of systematic bibliographic review and how it's done, with the fact that so many AI solutions were proposed to the researchers. For now, I would use it as a support, as an additional way of checking the literature, because it may bring you some additional ideas. Also, this copilot, which is here, so the fact that we are showing the steps, once you are doing search, you can see that this is also sometimes showing what kind of keywords we are using or what we are focusing. Worth to observe also this one and take a look what is used by the artificial intelligence, as it might be also additional inspiration for your search queries in the bibliographic search. Okay, that was a lot, but I believe it was, I hope it's going to be useful. And let me come back to the questions from Q&A.
Yeah, we have one more question about integrating Scopus AI to customized ChatGPT. And I will give you opportunity to comment on that, Kate, but first I would like to also tell you that I think another why Scopus is better than other AI is that it's totally safe. This is safe environment for you, okay? So all the data is already collected by Scopus, curated and go on. Kate told you everything about it in moment back. So this is very important to remember, because sometimes I can hear from research community that they are afraid if they will feed ChatGPT or other solutions with information coming from university or from their own research, it would be misused in the future, or it can be, you know, some kind of misunderstanding, or ChatGPT can build upon that some kind of hallucination, bias information and go on. So in Scopus, you are not adding any information inside, you are just using what is already curated, and yeah, Scopus is bringing the data to you. So I would add another value here. So yeah, you are safe here. We have strong privacy policies also implemented, and I think that's one of the reasons. The question would be answered with no, but Kate, if
Yes,
you could confirm.
That's the question, that the answer, that it's not possible to integrate Scopus AI with customized, with any GPT apps. The reason for this, as Paula mentioned, it's that Scopus is a database that we are checked. So we want to make sure that once we're creating any answers, they are trusted. But there is also a question on, of course, on copyrights, because the journals that are indexed in Scopus, they agreed to share the abstracts with us, but they didn't accept the fact it's going to be openly shared with anyone, and that's mainly the reason why now it's going to be, well, for now it's impossible for us to change it, so we are not going to work in that direction. I would like also to hear actually what kind of benefits do you see would be to see this integration between Scopus AI and GPT apps, because maybe we should think about other angle. If there is some functionalities that these GPT apps can provide and it's not available in Scopus AI, maybe the idea should be actually that we try to develop the Scopus AI with certain functionalities that you see are very useful in other open source applications. I think that could work, and that's even easier to and more possible to do with all the copyrights. I remember I said on our first webinar that one of the 4 pillars that we are really aware of is that we need to be compliant with all the regulations in terms of sharing the data, and this is just example of one of this compliancy that we need to be fully aware, and we cannot do something against the journals, the publishing houses that trusted us and shared with us their data. So that's I believe the main reason. Okay, and so I hope that this is helping with the answer. But as I said, I'm also very open to hear about some functionalities that you can see could be useful to add to Scopus AI.
Yeah, coming to that, Katri is asking, is it possible to add a free text field to go deeper? So Katri, for now, we don't have this. The question is just predefined for you and you can click on it to go further. But of course, you can copy this question, paste it again on Scopus AI query and add anything you would like to add to your question. I think that's the only thing you can do right now. And I think we managed to answer all of the questions for now. Let me quickly check if we have something on the chat going on, but no,
yes, I would just say in terms of new functionalities, I think that these 2 functionalities that I just said at the very beginning that showed up, which is possibility to ask the question in your own language and expanding the time range that we are covering. These are 2 functionalities that I remember were broadly discussed with users in May this year. And as you can see, we managed to quickly address them. It's October, both functionalities are available and they are already launched and anyone can use. So we are really treating the feedback very seriously and we are looking forward to any feedback you have. So in case you find something that would be useful to add, we are really happy to hear this. Don't hesitate, I would say, to share it with us. AI is a new field. It's completely a new field for many of us in terms of using it in research. So we are listening to the users and we are trying to basically address what is needed. Is there anything in the chat? Oh, I can now open it. No, I see that we don't have any more questions in the chat. Okay, so I think that we covered all the questions. I'm just looking again because if there is everything, but I believe that's it. So from that part, I would say that we would like to say with Paula, thank you to all of you for participating in our webinars and spending time with us. We hope that the use of that you will find Scopus AI useful for you and you will have a chance to use it. The trial is till 18th of October, so please be aware of this, that we have how many 16 days more, so make sure that you plan your time accordingly so you have time to try it. Yes, and I believe we will be in touch in case you have any more questions about Scopus AI, you can always reach out directly to me. I will be answering the question. Also, if you have questions about how will look the access to Scopus AI after the trial, then please also reach out to me directly. I'm happy also to answer these questions. And with that one, I believe I wish you a pleasant afternoon and successful research work. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you, Kate. And I just put one more link for you guys in the chat because we are starting our new webinar period this time. So please feel invited to all of the topics listed on our online training hub list. And thank you very much for being here with us. And see you soon on other online events.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye.